Thank you, thank you. Oh, wow, look at all these people. No, I don't need a shot. No, I'm good, I'm good. I just want to thank everybody for coming out tonight and coming here to celebrate this occasion, honoring the couple, Zach and Chanel. Love you guys. I actually wrote out what I'm going to say, but I wanted to touch on something else that really touched me this evening, and I have to recognize you for it. One of my buddies over here pointed out that we're really fortunate to have my great grandmother in attendance tonight. And yes, please. Yes, please. 94 years old. 94 years old. And it made me think about the first day that Chanel was on this earth. And we were at the hospital, and Natalie had just gone through 16 hours of 20, okay, of hard labor. And she was in the recovery room. And for the first time, the doctors brought Chanel out to us. And I went in to check on Natalie, and I came back out. And on a bench, there was my sister sitting, holding my daughter. My mother to the right, and my grandmother to the left. There's 4 generations of my family sitting there. It was the most wonderful thing I'd ever seen. And for her to be here today was just magical for me. But there's an even better part of the story. Unfortunately, in latter part of last year, in December, we had to put my grandparents in assisted living. It was really hard on the family, but it was something that we definitely had to do. And again, fortunately, my grandmother was able to make it here for the ceremony, but my grandfather was not. He's still with us, but because of his condition, he couldn't make it. So Chanel, being the daughter that never ceases to amaze me, after the ceremony today, she took the entire wedding party to the assisted living facility. The entire group to see her great-grandfather. And it's just unbelievable. And you do it all the time. You do it repeatedly, and it's just wonderful to call you my daughter. Really. So thank you. Thank you. So I had to write these things down because I didn't want to forget anything that I have to say tonight. So here we go. Let me once again say welcome to all of you to the celebration of the union between my daughter Chanel and her now husband Zach. As I gaze around the room, I'm filled with pride that there is such a menagerie of people here today. People from all walks of life, different races, different creeds, friends and family. And it reminds me how fortunate we are to have had each and every one of you in our lives. Some of you have been around since day one, some of you more recently, but the point is you've all had some impact in the lives of these 2 young individuals before us today. So today, as father of the bride, I'm tasked with the honor of giving a toast to Chanel and Zach, and we're gonna get to that. But I'd like to spend just a little bit of time giving special thanks or a little mini toast to a few people. First, I'd like to thank all the grandparents, the aunts, uncles, the cousins, nieces, nephews, brothers, sisters, you guys are the village. As the old African proverb says, it takes a village to raise a child. You pick up the slack when we're slacking, and we absolutely love you for it, and we probably don't say it enough. So I'm making sure that you know that today. Secondly, I'd like to thank Zach's parents, Brian and Dawn. Thank you for raising such an outstanding young man. It's been a pleasure allowing him to date my daughter. No, it's never been a situation like that. He's always been kind, very respectful, and he's a pretty intelligent guy too. All those things are a reflection of you. So thank you for him. Thirdly, I'd like to thank Brian Dunwald, Chanel's stepfather. You took on the role of stepfather before you had children of your own. It takes one heck of a man to do that. And I respect you for that, and I always have. You love Chanel like she's supposed to be loved. And you lead and you care for her like a father's supposed to. I appreciate you and everything you've done for her. I truly do. And finally, I'd like to thank Natalie Dunwald, Chanel's mother. Can you believe we're here? Can you believe we're here? Our daughter's married. Wow. Thank you for being caring, but strict. Thank you for being loving, but cautious. Thank you for being organized and crafty. Right? But most of all, thank you for giving me the experience of being a father to a wonderful child. Thank you. Thank you. All right, so it's not all tears. All right. So I remember day one like it was yesterday. I was in college at Truman State, 3 hours away in physics class, and they allowed me to have a cell phone because Natalie was here back in St. Louis, and it was close to the expectancy date. So I'm sitting there taking notes in class, and my phone rings. Class goes silent, the whole class. Even the teacher is on pins and needles. So I answer the phone and Natalie says, "It's time." I responded, "Okay, I'm on my way. Don't have her before I get there." The class erupts with screams and applause, and everyone was so happy, so much that I kind of had to push people out of the way to get to my truck so I could start the long drive home. And I got there in plenty of time, fortunately. And 20 hours later, I got to hold this beautiful young woman for the first time. It was a magical day that I'll never forget. You were breathtaking then. So as Chanel grew up, we spoiled her as much as she possibly could. She had everything. And if she didn't have it, one little whine to mom, one little puckered up lower lip to me, and we'd cave in. Sometimes, hell, we didn't have it, but we did it anyway for her. We found a way. Because that's all we really want for our children, right? To enjoy life, to succeed, to prosper, all of that. But Chanel kept her end of the bargain too. She excelled in her studies. She was involved in everything. She was always doing something to broaden her horizons, always trying to figure out how she was going to impact her, make an impact in her life. There's only half a page left. Then came boys. One boy in particular, And no, it wasn't Zach. Now, hold on. I'm not going to get into the details of that episode. Believe me, I'm not. I'm just using it for context. So you can relax, Chanel. You know what I'm talking about. But yeah, after that episode, I was one of those fathers that said, Chanel, you're not dating again until you're in college. Maybe not ever. Then this kid over here enters in the scene with his bowl haircut, big bushy eyebrows. And I was like, huh? I had a wall up against him due to nothing that he had actually done to my daughter. And that was unfair to him. And I have to admit, 11 years later, I was wrong. Zach, you've been everything that a man could wish for from a son, especially coming from a man who doesn't have a son. But I'm so fortunate today to say, now I have a son. Chanel, my sweetie, I don't know how to truly put into words how much I love you and how much of an honor it's been to watch you grow through your 25 years. You make me so proud. And I didn't think it was any more possible for you to be any more beautiful until I saw you today. I was wrong again. You are still, as the first day I laid eyes on you, simply breathtaking. I can't wait to see what the future holds for you and Zach. I'll reflect on what your mother said last night at the rehearsal dinner. I want you to have fun with each other. I want you to make up with one another. And most of all, I want you to love each other. I love you guys. Please join me raising your glass to the bride and groom. Thank you.
Okay, we have one more toast. That would be you. Are you Brian? Okay.
Sorry. Thank you. No, you're fine. You're fine. All right, how do I follow that up? Thanks, Bob. All right, so good evening. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Brian Dunwald, and I'm Chanel's stepdad. Very honored to be here. I'm very honored that Chanel asked me to be part of this. Before I start, I do want to thank Chanel, Natalie, the Wishnuffs, the Dwellinghams, the groomsmen, the bridesmaids. There's been an incredible amount of work that's gone into this day, and this was a process of months. I mean, Chanel, you did you did a lot. Good job. So thanks again for letting me be a part of this. So again, along with Brandon, I want to welcome you guys to this very special day. It's been 11 years in the making. This isn't a day that would have happened if a beautiful young girl and an accident-prone boy who somehow fell out of a golf cart onto the street, probably showing off for Chanel in front of our house, and ended up getting some minor surgery in the bathroom. But before that fateful incident where boy met girl, there was Natalie, there was Chanel, and then there was a third wheel, which was me. I came into Chanel's life when she was 6 years old. She was full of Powerpuff Girls, Britney Spears lyrics, and Bratz dolls. I knew from the beginning, and Chanel, I think you did too, that even at 6, we were stepping into uncharted territory as far as you and I building a relationship together. I think we both were like, how do we figure out this dynamic between us? I felt that relationship really started to build during one of your birthday, epic birthday parties, where you had probably 150 girls spend the night in a little apartment in Overland. It's the first time I ever heard about pallets, which are all those blankets that we built up. But I remember that, it was when we played dolls together. I don't know if you remember that. I was the boy. You guys were the girls, obviously. We went through, we probably broke 12 to 15 dolls' hearts that night through a series of speed dating scenarios. But more importantly than the heartbreak there, something happened that night, and I felt like that's where our bond started. And that's where you started to educate me on being a better person than who I was. Chanel, as you grew up, you didn't know this. I learned more from you than I could have ever have taught you. When we baked a couple of cakes and decorated them as cells for a science project, you taught me the significance of accomplishing something with a daughter, you and I. When you were learning to drive and your mom and your dad were helping you and then you asked me, you taught me terror. Why? Side mirror. Watching you excel through school, Stuco, nursing, life in general, you taught me what determination, urgency, drive, and passion that's inside of you. And I guess most recently when we went on our family vacation to Cancun and the other kids were enjoying their room service chicken wings, you, your mom, and I just sat and we just enjoyed each other's presence. You taught me contentment. All right. So you've been my teacher for 19 years and you haven't even known it. I've learned and benefited so much from you just by knowing you. I have been far from perfect for you, and I never really mastered how to correctly express my love for you being a stepdad. I didn't know where those lines were. It was always, I don't want to cross that line. And I regret that my insecurity held me back from telling you more often how much I cherish our relationship together. I mean, I love you, Chanel. I always have. I always will, through the ups, the downs, and through the years, and that'll never change. I'm so proud of who you are, and I'm grateful for the privilege to be able to call you a daughter. So you taught me so much, but I wish that I could have taught you how to avoid guys like Zach. It's unbelievable to me to think that you guys have been together since grade school. Since the first time, Zach, you dumped yourself off that golf cart, I knew that you were unconditionally devoted to Chanel. I remember you walking through the cornfields before you had a car just so you could see her. I remember the way that you would look at her, and then I remember saying, you better knock it off. I remember thinking, I'm never gonna get rid of this kid. But I also remember thinking, even way back then, that you two just seemed right together. Didn't admit it, never did. I'm admitting it now, it's a big day, right? Here's the revelations. So Zach, you and I poke a lot of fun at each other all the time, but I do want you to know that I'm glad that you and Chanel made it through all of the years together to this day. It's just right. This day was meant to be. Even way back then, I think everybody saw it. So Zach, welcome to the family. And you know that hurts to say. So you guys are embarking on a new phase, massive change in your life, and with change comes challenges, excitement, maybe a little bit of anxiety of the unknown. When I was facing some period of changes in my life, what I could always rely on was a commitment from the folks that were special to me. So I'm going to commit to you. So I can't give you any great advice. You know me better than that. I'm going to commit something to you. And this is something that I actually am stealing from my folks a little bit when I was going through a hard time and they made a commitment to me. So my commitment to the both of you, if you fall, I will always be there to pick you up. And if you need support, I'll always be your both's biggest advocate. If you ever need protecting, I'll be your strongest protector. If you need knowledge, I'll give it to you freely and without judgment. And if life ever lets you two down, I'll make it certain that you know that your parents, our love is always there with you by your side, and that together we all will overcome anything that might seem an insurmountable day. So to end, thank you, Chanel. Thanks, Zach, for honoring me with the opportunity to speak at your special day. And with that, I'm going to end with a little bit of an Irish blessing. Here's to you both, a beautiful pair, on the birthday of your love affair. Here's to husband, here's to wife. May yourselves be lovers for the rest of your life. So to Chanel and Zach. Thank you.
All right. At this time, can Father Fonseca come forward for the blessing?
Zach and Chanel, congratulations. You know, last night, Zach actually asked me a question at his rehearsal. It's the first time anyone's asked me a question. He asked me, what is the favorite part of celebrating weddings? And I don't have an answer for you. But I will say that the best part of my life as a priest is being welcomed into people's families, as you guys have done for me today. And so I want to say thank you for welcoming me and letting me be a part of your journey. I'm excited where it takes you guys in the future. I invite you now to bow your heads and join me in prayer. Loving Father, we thank you for gathering us here tonight. We give you thanks for the many blessings which you have bestowed upon us. Most especially tonight, we're mindful of that blessing of family which you've surrounded us with here. The blessing which reminds us of the love that you have for each and every one of us. A love that reminds us that no matter where life takes us, our family and you, God, are with us to guide us and to support us through this journey. As we gather tonight, we give you thanks in a special way for this new family of Zach and Chanel. As they begin their life together as husband and wife, we ask that you send your spirit upon them so that they always know your love and your presence with them. Tonight, as we gather in this beautiful room with so many family and friends, we recognize how truly blessed we are. And we give you thanks for all of those blessings and ask that you provide for those who are not as fortunate as we are. We ask you to bless our conversation, our gathering here tonight, and our food. We ask this as we pray. Bless us, O Lord, and these thy gifts which we are about to receive from thy bounty through Christ our Lord. Amen. Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Casey. For those of you that don't know me, I'm one of the maid of honors with Marissa. And I wrote a little poem for Chanel and about our friendship and Zach and Chanel's love story. I met Chanel in 2008. Over 13 years of friendship, hasn't it been great? Since we are now 25, I've spent over half of my life with her by my side. When we met, I asked her why she was so tan. I'm mixed, she replied. I didn't know what that meant, and from then on, we were each other's biggest fans. I don't know why she didn't reply with, why are you so pale? But she's the kind of person who would never make you want to feel like you should bail. We have been friends through middle and high school, college and post-grad. As you can imagine, we've seen each other grow, learn, be happy, and sad. What I admire about Chanel is that she's always honest, caring, and down for a good time. Our adventures can range from partying all night to staying in and having a glass of wine. We've traveled to over 8 states together and even a trip to Cancun. Let me tell you, we had so much fun, sometimes we were tipsy by noon. Like I mentioned earlier, Zach has always been along for our friendship. While to me he's been the third wheel, I know he's been glued to Chanel's hip. Zach and I have actually known each other longer. We shared first grade together. 6 years later, he met Chanel, and since then, he's been alongside her. Back then, who would have thought we would grow a friendship stronger? But let me remind you, don't you ever wrong her. With you two being middle school sweethearts, I would say you beat all the stat charts. I'm so happy for you both and can't wait to continue to watch you grow as a couple and eventually make your family double. You are now one plus Milo, your new puppy son. Zach, I know how much you love to win a debate, but Chanel is your soulmate. So may you always remember, happy wife, happy life. I know you guys want to hear more rhymes, but it's party time. To the newlyweds whose love will always be enough, please raise your glass to the newlyweds, Mr. and Mrs. Wishnuff.
Hello, my name is Marissa, and I'm very nervous, even though I talk for a living and know half of you in this room. So, okay, here we go. Chanel and I met this summer going into high school during cheer practice. We clicked right away. During football games, we were always getting into some kind of trouble, whether it was begging people to pay for our halftime hot dogs that we would load with jalapenos, laughing way too much at who even knows what, or just talking way too much. Talking is what we always did. Over the last 10 years of friendship, we've spent every sleepover, family gathering, or girls' date talking and sharing stories about how amazingly similar we are, which has bonded us from best friends to sisters, or even twins, as some might say. Not only did we share memories of our childhoods and growing up, but we would talk about our dreams and make plans for what we wanted out of life. And if you know anything about our beautiful bride here, you know she means business when it comes to making a plan and sticking with it. Although dreams change and people come in and out of our lives, there was always one thing that always stayed the same: Zach. Zach and Chanel have been together before I even knew them. I've only known them together and could never picture them apart. Over the years, we have all spent life's special, hard, and most important memories together. Today, I'm honored to share the biggest life moment with them yet. Okay. Zach, you are without a doubt the perfect match for Chanel. You match in generosity, kindness, drive, and loyalty. Thank you for taking care of her heart for all of these years. Today was not just the moment when Zach and Chanel tied the knot. It's the moment when their greatest wish came true. This marriage became less about Zach and Chanel's plan and more about God's plan. I can speak for all of us when I say that to know them as a couple is to know that you are truly in the presence of a real love that will last for many years to come. Congratulations to the Wishnuffs on the start of your beautiful new journey together.
Hello, everyone. On behalf of the newlyweds, I would like to thank you all for attending their special day. Chanel, you look incredible. To the families, congrats. I would also like to thank both of you, or all the families actually, for raising such wonderful adults who have become such great friends to us all. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Dylan, one of the co-best men, and in preparing the speech, I scoured the internet looking for examples of best man speeches, and I found numerous sites that wanted you to pay to see their examples, but I'm way too cheap for that, so we're gonna wing it. I met Zach around 2015 at an Alpha Chi Omega sorority pregame party, and he began the introduction by saying, "Pardon me, good sir," and then he squared up. I was so confused. I was thinking to myself, pardon me, is this the 1850s? Why is he standing like that? Are we about to fight right now? What's the deal? He then extended his hand, which I shook, and we spent the rest of the night talking about Game of Thrones. So it didn't end too bad. From that night on, he's been a great friend. And aside from my 3 brothers, he's the best friend I have. Zach is the type of friend that everybody should have. He challenges you in everything, literally. Your favorite Marvel movie? Challenge. Whose high school was better at sports? Challenge. Who can eat the most sushi rolls at dinner? That's definitely a challenge. There are only 2 things that Zach loves more than competition: Chanel and wearing shirts that are too small. Seriously though, Zach is thoughtful, intelligent, trustworthy, and driven. Those are all traits you want in a friend, and they're becoming increasingly hard to find. How many people do you know that can change your outlook on life after only a couple of conversations? Zach, you're that guy. Oh, dang, I forgot my next thing. We're just gonna wing it. Yeah, I'm gonna look it up. You're that guy, Zach. I know I give you a lot of trouble, and I'll let you in on a little secret. Sometimes I disagree with you on purpose, just to see how riled up you can get. He still hasn't figured it out yet. It's great. Zach, Chanel, I'm so happy for the both of you as you begin this next chapter of your life. Know that Nicole and I are always there, along with everybody else at this table, if you ever need anything. Also remember to keep God first and to communicate often. If you do these 2 things, there's nothing in life that can touch you. My last piece of advice is this. One day we'll leave this world behind, so live a life that you'll remember. Chanel, you may be getting the worst frisbee partner on the face of the planet, but I can't think of a better partner to go through life with. With that, let's raise our glasses to the happy couple and show them how much they mean to us. Cheers. It's all you. It's definitely a whole line of Thank you.
Hey, how's it going? I guess I'm not as cool as Dylan and have my speech memorized, so it's a little shorter too. But so as most of you know, Zach and I literally grew up together. Although we're cousins, I've always viewed him as a brother, just as brothers do. Zach and I were always looking to get ourselves into some kind of mischief, all the way from harassing other neighbors to neighborhood kids or just fighting each other. If anybody knows Mr. Snowballs, that, yeah, you know. I've never met somebody more persistent about the way, the things that they wanted like Zach does. Zach has talked about Chanel since literally before I can remember. He's been literally obsessed with her. Zach and Chanel are probably one of my absolute favorite people. I always have a great time with them. They're just so positive. I love it. And I've always been able to rely on them, and I'm excited to welcome them into our family. Chanel, as long as you two have been together, you've been my go-to dance partner, and you know it. So once Zach gets you, me and you, sorry. I'm so happy you and Zach are finally together, tying the knot. We've been making jokes about it since like 6th grade, literally 6th grade. I can talk about countless memories with you guys, considering I feel like I've been third wheeling with y'all since middle school. You've been on this ride for 10 years, and I love and wish both of you the absolute best on your journey. And I'm so thankful that you guys chose me to be a part of it and to share it with you. And I love you both so much. So that's all I got.